Welcome back to our Mega Man Let's Plays. Today, I'm going to play Mega Man 3. This is not only my favorite Mega Man game, this is my favorite game of all time. I love this game. It's my favorite game of all time. I don't think it'll ever be beaten. At least on the game of all time list. I'm going to beat it right now for you. Mega Man 3 is excellent game. I was absolutely obsessed with this game when I was a kid. Mega Man 2 is really the game that got me into Mega Man. Mega Man 3 was the game that made me obsessed with it. As you'll see here, it adds a key mechanic, the slide. The slide stays in Mega Man throughout the rest of the NES series, and then 7 and 8, and then disappears actually in 9 and 10, which is based more on Mega Man 2. So here we're going to start with Magnet Man, who is my favorite Robot Master of all time and a good place to start in the game. I used to dress up as him as a kid, actually. Believe it or not. I gotta find a picture. There's gotta be pictures. I had this Fisher-Price magnet that came with this, like, my first science set, and it was this gigantic magnet. I used to rubber band it on my head and run around like an idiot. I would still do it if I knew where that magnet was. So Mega Man 3, like 2, doesn't have a really firm order. You can jump in multiple places. You can jump in with Magnet Man, you can jump in conceivably with like Hard Man or Top Man, you can jump in with Snake Man, which is a pretty popular way to play. I start with Magnet Man, we'll move on to Hard Man after that. The funny thing is that eventually you're gonna have to fight, that was dumb. Basically you're gonna have to fight 2 of the Robot Masters at least with your arm cannon, which is unusual. With most Mega Man games, you jump in and then you can cycle them, but there's no cycle in this game. Disappearing blocks, of course, the bane of everyone's existence. Oop, messed that one up. Alright, so we're going. I'm sorry if I go quiet sometimes. It's just, me concentrating. Even though I've beaten Mega Man 3, literally I've beaten Mega Man 3 probably 100 times. So I know the game pretty well. But, there are people better at it than me, obviously, out there. So we're all ready to Magnet Man. Just got to deal with his last Guardian here. The music's rocking, too, in Magnet Man stage. Alright, so here we go. Magnet Man fights in somewhat of a cycle, a predictable cycle. He'll shoot magnet missiles, jump across the screen like this. You can slide out of the way of them. Every once in a while, he'll try to suck you in like this. And if you don't press anything, he'll actually bring you towards him, because you are metal, and he has a magnet. Why it doesn't work on him? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. He's probably made out of a special alloy. So you just gotta be patient. If you, later on, if you have, like, Spark Shock, which is Sparkman's weapon, you can actually use it on him, and it does a lot of damage. We'll do that later in Wily's Castle, but for now we have to just deal with the arm cannon. And that's the end of Magnet Man. And so we can move on here. It's worth noting that in the intro, which we saw just a little bit of, like the select screen before you get to the Robot Masters, there's a great song there. You should go look it up and check it out. Mega Man 3 was rushed to market by many accounts, and it's actually Inafune's least favorite Mega Man game. And you can tell that there was supposed to be a cutscene there, and they never did it. Because the song is like 2 minutes long for no reason. And of course, Mega Man 2's intro is like iconic, so I'm sure they wanted to do something cool, and they probably just ran out of time. So there's a little bit of info for you. Nonetheless, even though Inafune likes Mega Man 3 the least, it's actually becoming more popular to think this is the best Mega Man game. I think it's certainly the most solid. So here, these bees drop little little pieces of I don't know, Hive or whatever, that drop 5 more bees, and you can actually just, because the RAM in the NES is so limited, you can actually just scroll them off the screen. So things that are the bane of your existence, like why enemies come back, you can also use it to your advantage to get rid of them. This enemy here is a play on Sniper Joe. It's called Hammer Joe. He'll throw hammers instead of annoying you with other stuff, and so we'll actually get rid of Rush here. You start with the Rush Coil here. By the way, this game also introduces Rush. Oop. For the first time in Mega Man 2, obviously. In Mega Man 1, you had the Magnet Beam. In Mega Man 2, you had items 1, 2, and 3, and now they actually gave him a personality, basically. So Rush is the dog, and he'll be, in this particular game, Rush Jet, Rush Coil, which you start with, and then Rush Marine, which is used very sparingly. That's an underwater Rush module. Those monkeys you might recognize from Woodman stage in Mega Man 2. We don't really have to fight this guy, but I do want to just get energy, so since I didn't get hit before. And this guy you can kind of like play some games with if you want, like try to get him to go that way and then just outrun him. So these are kind of plays on some enemies you meet in Mega Man 1. The guys in Gutsman stage that throw axes at you, now they're piloting these devices. You can grab an E-Tank here. And here you're going to deal with these things that sprout out of the ground and also the bees, which you can scroll off. Just make things a little easier for you. Here we'll fight Proto Man again, like we did in Mega Man stage. He's known, I'm actually spoiling it for you, he's known as Break Man at this point in the game. Because you don't know that he's, spoiler alert, 25-year-old spoiler alert, he's Mega Man's brother. Created by Light and Wily together. In Mega Man 5, you'll find that he turns on Mega Man, or does he? Alright, so we're at Hard Man stage, we'll go to the Magnet Missile. Now if you're speedrunning Mega Man 3, there's actually tricks you use on Hard Man, and you actually get hit by him intentionally to make the fight go quicker, but I'm not going to play like that because I try to play a little more elegantly. So there you would actually get hit intentionally because it'll allow you to move. And then otherwise you just stand in the air and then you just kill him like that. Hard Man's dead. So from that we get the Hard Knuckle, which is a somewhat useful weapon, especially in Wily's castle when you need to break some barriers. It'll be useful on Top Man, who we're going to go to next. Although you can easily fight Top Man with the arm cannon if you want to, and that used to be when I was a kid. I used to actually start with Top Man and then go Top, Shadow, Spark, etc. All right. So we'll go to Top Man next. Bizarre robot. I have no idea. What way? I don't know what he was like. What he was doing. His stage is a greenhouse, which I think is kind of cool, but they probably could have done more with this particular character. Definitely one of my least favorite robots in any of the games. Rocket music on the stage, though. Rocket just soundtrack is so underrated in Mega Man 3. It's so much better than Mega Man 2's, and people are like just on Mega Man 2's dick. And I'm sorry if I'm playing on PlayStation 4. By the way, I'm playing on Legacy Collection if you haven't figured that out yet. I'm playing on PlayStation 4. I know the buttons are a little loud. There's nothing I can really do about it. Unfortunately. A lot of slowdown here if you play your cards right, depending on if that's what you want. You can see there. You can get the extra life. We don't really need it. Ooh, missed him. That's not good. Jeez. Fuck out of here. But man, I fucked that whole screen up. As I was talking about how I don't need the extra life. This cat will create incredible slowdown. Use it to your advantage. Another one of these cats. This time the yarn goes off the screen because there's no barrier there, so the slowdown's not as severe. Here you just gotta be careful with your jumps. Press up. Now this is cool. I can't always nail this, but this part, you can actually play this part really elegantly because it seems like you can't get through this part without getting hit. You can. Ah, I messed it up again. I almost want to go back and show you guys, but I just want to keep cruising. So you can time your jumps there to dodge it, but every time I've tried on the Legacy Collection, I think it's just the PS4 controller and the way I play on this, as opposed to like the NES controller, the Wii controller, is I just don't have the nimbleness of finger here. All right, so Top Man is totally predictable. He has a pattern. He doesn't break it. And then you can just hammer him here. And that's it. He just goes back and forth, shoots his tops in the air. You can slide under them. He'll come across, jump over him, hit him. And you can just nail him with the arm cannon if you want to be a G. Or start there. Because his weapon... So Top Man's weapon is the first really unusual weapon in the game. Because it's not a projectile, it's actually your body. The top spin, it's called. And you jump and press the B button with it equipped, and you spin. And use your body as the weapon, basically. So we'll use that on Shadow Man. Shadow Man otherwise is one of the hardest robot masters in any Mega Man game to fight, but with the top spin, he's much more manageable. but you have to sacrifice your own body in order to hit them. So here we'll meet Proto Man again. So those devices up on the ceiling will make it dark. You can destroy them if you want. If you have the right weapons, you can actually use like magma missiles on them, I think. But there's really no need. Not here anyway. And those little grenade guys will come at you and explode, so you want to keep your distance when you kill them. And here you want to just get down here quickly so you can deal with that guy before he's all over you. Those guys are a pain in the ass. Alright, so here you're going to want to play it kind of patient. You need to draw these like parachute guys out. You can do that by jumping at them and then back. It's similar to how you deal with the crabs at the end of Bubble Man stage on Mega Man 2. Definitely the same design philosophy between those two games. And here you want to fire immediately and try to get under that guy if you can. Don't forget you can slide. These dragonflies will come in behind you and flank you. You can get through the wall. So then I'll show you guys top spin for the first time. We're only going to see it one other time in the game. You can use it in other enemies, but there's really no need. So Shadow Man's a bastard. So you want to get up close to him and press, and you see you're just damaging him by pressing the B and spinning into him. And then he's dead. Fighting Shadow Man mano a mano with the arm cannon is very difficult. You'll need an E-tank for it. Maybe two. Alright, so we have the Shadow Blade, which lets us go next to Sparkman stage and fight Sparkman, who's really one of the more unique robot masters, I think, in the game. He doesn't even have like real arms or hands. He has like these conductors, which I think his design is fantastic. We also have Rush Marine, which is useless. We'll use it maybe in Gemini's Man stage if we're feeling like it. But let's go to Sparkman. It's a fantastic design. I love that design so much. Very active stage, a lot of cool backgrounds and flashing lights here. So these things you kind of have to be patient with. I kind of brute force my way through these things at times and just deal with the damage that you make, but here I'm like, what's the point? We'll need it for later. You would expect these big enemies to take more than one hit, but they don't. Get rid of them or they'll attack. Another Hammer Joe. And you can see his eye appears, and that's when he's vulnerable. So it's not actually when he throws it, it's actually right before. So these platforms you got to be kind of careful on. And this part here is where I usually brute force my way through, if I have to. But I won't have to. Actually, I will here. And then just kind of let it run its course, probably get hit again. Man, I'm getting killed here. All right. Probably should have just played it the way I usually do. Here, we won't usually need it, but this time I do because I fucked up. So we'll use the rush coil to get up here and get the energy, since we'll need that for later when we actually do with Sparkman. And we'll keep cruising. All right. I love this drop here. It's super dramatic. Reminds me of the end of Mega Man 2. Here, there's a lot of like incredible amounts of slowdown. Again, speedrunners kind of try to deal with these blocks to make it not slow down so much, because there's just so much. You could tell that the game was rushed too, because there's just a lot of moments like that they weren't able to optimize. You can get like a really long slide going here. Which is pretty cool. Here, you're going to want to draw enemies out, and you can actually use the magnet missile on those guys. So here, I'll show you. To get rid of these guys, and you kind of want to just draw them out because they're going to knock you out. And they're all strategically placed, of course, in the most obnoxious places. And then you can draw that last one out. And then you can just ignore that last one. Switch over to the Shadow Blade, which is a pretty cool looking weapon, as you can see there. And we'll fuck Sparkman up with it. And that's the end of Sparkman. So now here's where we have a decision to make, because the Spark Shock is useful against Magnet Man. We already killed him. So now we're going to have to fight another enemy with our arm cannon, and that enemy is going to be Snake Man, which, as I said earlier, is a place where you can very easily start the game if you want. You certainly don't have to. So we'll go to Snake Man, another great design. Yeah. Who knows? No one understands what Wily's actually doing, except for Wily. With your bullets and his bullets, you can actually cause a lot of slowdown here too. Not that it's necessarily beneficial. Oof. Now this particular area is the only part of any of the Mega Man games I can think of that has two major, or like big health pellets right next to each other. I never understood why that was. Like, you don't need them. Okay, there's a lot of slowdown here as well. Like, there's an incredible amount of slowdown. There's just so much going on the screen. Okay. Another Hammer Joe. I love the slide and the jump. It's such an elegant move. We'll go up here and mess around with these question mark tanks just to see what's in them. Usually nothing of interest. We're climbing. I always like to think about what these places actually are that they're in, like what this would look like in a 3D like space. It's so weird. That's why I want them to remake some of these games in 3D at some point. And they wouldn't necessarily be good, but they would certainly be an interesting vision. So here's a pretty crazy jump. You can make it, it's not that bad. It's like Metal Man's jump at the end of the stage. And that, if you remember or watched that Let's Play or are familiar with that game. And then we're gonna climb up into the sky. And deal with Snake Man up here. We just gotta get through this final area, which is a little tricky. A little bit of an Airman vibe in this part of the stage. So these bullets are basically shrouded in clouds, and when you shoot them, they'll come at you. So you gotta like shoot them in strategic places or just jump over them and ignore them. Yep, now we're in the air here. All right, and we're just Snake Man. So now we're gonna just fight Snake Man straight up. Depending on his pattern at this point, you know, we should be fine. Might use knee tank. I don't think we really need to. There we go. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want him to do. He hasn't launched any of his snakes yet. There we go. His own snakes cause crazy slowdown. That's it. Snake Man's dead. No idea what his whole thing was, Kevin.
Nick would make a really good Snake Man in the movie.
He would. But I like Snake Man's design, and the next enemy we're gonna go to is Gemini Man, and I think that's like one of the most clever enemies. It's two robots. It's really one robot, but you'll see. It makes a projection of itself, and I think that's a really just a clever idea for a robot. Certainly one of the cooler designs. So an interesting stage here. We'll meet Proto Man again in just a minute, but we won't fight him this time, which is interesting. And it doesn't matter that we fought him all those other times. You'll never fight him on Gemini's Man stage. You'll just run into him. And this is when he'll kind of reveal himself that maybe he's trying to help you. Oof, get hit there. Awesome music again. Just an amazing soundtrack in this game. So here's Proto Man. But he's gonna help you out. So here are these like weird egg things that let these little sperms out, for lack of a better term. There's another question mark thing up there. I'm not gonna really mess with it. We don't really have to bother. So the idea, you can sit there, like when I was a kid and I didn't really care about, I'd just like shoot them all because I thought it was fun, but there's really no reason to. And you can even use them to your advantage. If you want to use the rush coil here, for instance, you can just jump up there and not have to deal with the whole issue of having to get them all and all that stuff. Ooh, extra life. And I think the sprites that penguin is shooting at, I'm not positive, I think those are the penguin sprites from the original Mega Man that you see on, like, I think the Iceman stage. So a little throwback there. There are quite a few throwbacks to the original Mega Man in this game. We got damaged a little more than I would have liked, so we'll use the rush coil here to just jump up and grab this. And then we have options down here. We can use the rush marine. Actually, I'll just go back to the rush coil because we'll need it again. But I'm going to try to stay in the blocks on top because we can actually get some things up here. The problem are these fish that appear, and they shoot these missiles up. And the missiles have these explosion radius, plus the... Oh, damn it. Plus the fireflies that come back and forth. So we'll jump down here and get the E-tank. And then we'll use rush coil to get back up. Uh-oh. Okay. And then let's let this firefly come and go like that. Let him fly over us. Quite precarious here. Skip over that, and so we're pretty much the Gemini Man stage. Trick here with this enemy, obviously, it's to shoot her through the wall, so you don't have to deal with him in person. And then we'll switch to Search Snakes to fight Gemini Man, and you'll see what I mean. Gemini Man is true to his name, Gemini obviously 2. Twins. So he appears as one, and then he'll split into 2, and it's pretty cool. But we can get one of them to disappear, like that, by attacking him, and then he's dead. And that is Gemini Man. He gives us the Gemini Laser, not a very practical weapon. You're only going to use it against Needle Man and one other time in one of the stages. Alright, all we have left to deal with is Needle Man and his needle dick, so let's go at him. Bizarre, totally bizarre. I don't know what the hell he is. He's a thing. Cool enemies though here. These like porcupines are pretty cool. These like hedgehog enemies. You can kill them quick before they roll up into a wall and make fucking hell for you. This probably happened to this guy. Yep. See. Ugh. So much slowdown. I like this stage. The music's cool. It's wide open, but you can also see like a cityscape in the background, which I think is pretty cool. It gives you a little like it gives you a feeling that you're fighting somewhere. It's like not just like a fantasy game, but that there's like a place that you're like trying to protect or taking part, you know, in dealing with in some respect. Jeez. Jesus Christ. Man. Jeez, I'm not playing this very well, Kevin. Alright.
What are those little guys named?
Mets. Metools, yeah. Hard hats is what is like their, you know, the kind of vernacular for them. Yep, in this game. Yeah. So we can use. There we go. And then, you know, we probably won't need this many E-tanks, but just in case, might as well grab them. You can carry up to 9 in this game. There's only 4 to be carried in. Mega Man 2, none in Mega Man 1. So you can see the games are getting a little easier. Although I think this game's way harder than Mega Man 2, personally. And so we are here. All right, so now you got to be careful when you're using Gemini Laser, and I'm going to show you why right now. It bounces off walls, as you can see here. So if you don't hit your enemy, it's just going to bounce and you can't shoot another one. So you got to be very careful. Needleman will always jump. In the beginning, you can shoot and it'll bounce off the back wall, and you definitely are guaranteed that hit. And otherwise, you kind of want to play it safe. Like I just played it really dumb there. It'll eventually go away. Man, I'm not playing this one very well. We'll use that E-tank if we need to. Yeah, we'll use it. It's unfortunate. You just want to basically stay on top of him to make sure the laser doesn't miss. As I just showed you, that wasn't a very elegant way to shoot it, but no, kill him. But nonetheless, here we are. Needleman's done. Now, Mega Man 3's closest kept secret at the time, although everyone knows this now, I think, is that all of Mega Man 2's bosses are also in the game. And now we're going to fight them all. And I loved this one. I'll never forget when this happened. We didn't know this was going to happen, and it's so cool. This robot thing called Darkman that is created by Wily encapsulates all of the 8 robots that he created in Mega Man 2. So you're going to go to the 4 of the stages you've already been to. They're different now. They're harder to deal with. And you're going to fight them. And you don't know who you're going to fight. Here, I told you to use the Gemini Laser one more time in the game. There it was. These wheels spin, so you got to be kind of careful on them. Here you can get a little hairy, so you just gotta keep moving. All right, so to our first boss here. And as you're going to see as it comes down, it's going to be Metal Man. So the thing about all these bosses is that they're all susceptible to multiple weapons, but magnet missiles works best on Metal Man. You'll remember, of course, in Mega Man 2 that he's actually weakest to his own weapon, which is not the case here. This drop is going to be a little precarious. A little bit reminiscent of the Wily drop in Mega Man 2. And in case you're curious why I'm stopping to kill the magnets, is because you can't hit them until they come together. So they're just impervious, as you can see there. A little bit of slowdown again. And then so this time we're going to fight Quick Man. And of course the weapon that is... Use a Gemini laser on him if you want. He's susceptible to other weapons as well, but it does the most damage. I'm just going to use it here. Again, you're going to want to kind of really stay close to him, make sure it doesn't bounce. And that's it. So Quick Man's done. And then we move on. You can do these in any order. I'm just kind of doing them in this order. Go to Needleman stage next. I think Needleman stage changes the most out of all the 4 stages when you go back to it. It's now nighttime, and I think it's cool. Again, you can see the city in the background. It's pretty cool, just for, you know, some storytelling. The needle puzzles get a little crazier though here. You can actually stand really close to them, so it's useful sometimes. I'm messing this one up. So here we'll just use rush. Actually, maybe I can show you how close, if I can just land this jump. Like, you can stand that close to them. Now here, should you have the patience, you can get like an extra life and some other things. There's an E-tank above that we'll get in a minute. So the Rush Jet in Mega Man 3 is like totally controllable. You can just sit on it and do whatever you want with it. It doesn't just move forward, so it makes it super useful. So this is Airman. Again, we're going to fight him with a barrage of pea shooter and another weapon, just like we do in Mega Man 2. And you can actually slide under some of his tornadoes, which is not possible in the other game. But this time we'll use Spark Shock on him when he gets a little closer. He's actually in pretty good shape to kill me, so I'm actually going to use the tank. I'm playing super well today, Kevin, but it's the nature of the beast. I am. So that does him in. The reason I don't use Spark Shock when he's shooting tornadoes generally to me is because it's bigger, so it's easier to deflect. Here we're gonna have to use the Rush Jet pretty much exclusively. But let's draw out some enemies first. And you can generally stay towards the top of the screen if you want, and it'll draw them out quicker. And you're gonna want to grab these things. Now, if you feel like you're gonna die at some point, you might not want to grab all of those because they will not replenish. Having a good day here on Needleman stage. It's because I call him a needle dick, I think. I don't think you like that. Jeez. Crazy slowdown right now. Man, I'm really like fucking shit in the bed right now, Kevin, I'll tell you what. Alright. I'm gonna have to use another E-tank. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe one of these guys will give up the ghost here for me. Otherwise, I'll have to go back and do it again. I was gonna farm, but you know what, whatever. So here's... Man. We can actually just sit here all day and just let him fucking spit those things out if we wanted to. Maybe I'll do that. Just have to use another E-tank. Uh-oh. It's blowing up in my face. God, they always drop shit when you don't need them. Come on, hook your boy up. Man, these guys aren't giving me shit. Uh-oh. This isn't working out too well. Fuck it. I'm gonna have to do it all over again. I don't want to waste E-tanks. You know what I mean? It was gonna happen eventually. This is the unfortunate part, though, is I don't even know if I have the rush jet capability of getting back to where I need to be. Actually, there's a way to cheat with the rush jet too. I guess this is actually a useful exercise. If you just constantly jump while on the rush jet, it won't use any energy, or very little. So that's one way around the problem. You would have to kill yourself and start again. Jesus Christ. I don't have good mojo on the stage right now, I'll tell you. I know, I called him an eel, he didn't like it. I mean, that's for sure. When you're right, Kevin. So we can... Okay. Here, we'll just use the jet again. Sorry that we had to play through all that again. I don't want to bore you guys out there. Okay. These sons of bitches. All right, so we're at Crash Man here, and we'll use Hard Knuckles on him. The reason I like this, there's a little throwback, like a little homage to Crash Man on the stage, just in the backgrounds, which were like black starry backgrounds, just like when you fight him in Mega Man 2, which I think was intentional. So you want to try to get as close to, get as close to him as possible, because the hard knuckle is his weakness, and they'll just fly right over him. There we go. And so he's finished. So we'll go to Gemini Man next.
Did Colin think that he was getting double the game?
I felt like that, yeah. I mean, this started the trend of Mega Man games being twice as long as these are. But then Mega Man 9 and 10. Kevin's asking, by the way, off screen, if I thought I was getting twice the game, and the answer was yes. I mean, this wasn't a really long game for Mega Man. I still think this is probably the longest one when you really think about it. Maybe not. They're all pretty. So after this, they add a second castle, and usually you just go right to Wily's castle. But like now, there's in 4, 5, and 6, there's like a castle before that. It's like the guy you thought was the bad guy. Not to spoil the other Mega Man games, but you've had your chance. And not that they're really story-driven anyway, because they're not. Although there's so much potential with the story. That's what's so disappointing. There's so incredible potential with Mega Man's story, and they just don't do anything to make it like a little more serious and stuff. If they want to, they don't have to do it. You were scared?
Yeah. Are they smiling?
It looks like it.
That's so sad.
Here, if you're slick, you can get this one, go back, let him come down, and then use this as a platform. And if you want to get rid of these guys, you can do that too. Oop. Oh, messed that one up. You can say you can just go over the top. Lots of slowdown here. So here, we're going to fight Flashman. We use Shadow Blades on him. Again, Flashman, if you aren't familiar with Mega Man 2, stops time. It's a pain in the ass. And we just made it. He'll like just stay directly on top of you. Oops. There we go. So these guys popping out here are the guys that climb up the ladder. Like the ladder enemies. So here we'll use the Rush Marine. Because why not? You got to. You don't have to, actually. You can use the Rush Jet, I guess. And I'm gonna go back down and see if I can farm these guys for a minute. Nice, that's exactly what I needed. Perfect. Alright. So we continue on. So you can see these guys climb on the ladder, and those are those characters that you might recognize. First from Snake Man stage, and when we revisited Spark Man stage. And then we're underwater, so this kind of gives away who we're going to fight here, which is Bumbleman's. And I realized I was supposed to use, I don't know why I was using Shot. I think I was using, I actually need to use Needles on Flashman, so we're not going to be left with too much to fight Bumbleman with. I'm kind of fucking this playthrough up a little bit. But if we can just make every hit count, that would be a fun shit. Arm cannon dueling, which was given its name by a famous FAQ, I believe, that in the 90s that kind of taught people how to do it. All right, we have one more. Go to Shadow Man stage. So again, like the others, a harder version of the stage we already went to. Especially at one point, this is probably one of the hardest points in the game, period, on the stage. Remember, of course, that the spikes will kill you in one hit. Mega Man convention. So here, these platforms disappear. And here, you just, you know, like, fuck it. You can get crazy with it if you want, but there's really no reason to. And so here we're going to fight Woodman. His weakness is the needle cannon, as you can see there. What?
Woodman's weakness is needle cannon. Why?
It would make more sense. Well, I guess it punctures him in some way. But you would think it would be Shadow Blades, actually. That would be his weakness. Oh, man. Timing these shots real well. Man. Playing like shit today, Kevin. Yeah, it's there for all the world to see, though. It'll be alright. We're cruising anyway. I actually find these stages like actually harder than Wily's Castle. All right, finally Heatman, which is who is weak to the Shadow Blade. We should be able to do it. Our little Zippo lighter. He's a great design too.
He's so good. Oh, dress up with me.
You should dress up with him. Oh. Fuck. Damn it. Buttons on a PS4 controller are a little sticky compared to an NES controller. Yeah, I just feel like I'm not pivoting very well.
Could there be a lag?
I don't think there's a lag. I'm not going to blame it on that.
Okay.
So now we showdown with Break, who we still know as Breakman. And this isn't really a fight that's designed. None of these fights are really designed to kill you. It just does the same thing over and over again. It's just story based. So it's Dr. Light. Wily spelled wrong. Gamma is a peacekeeping robot that Wily and Light were working on together. Wily appears like a boss. Best music in all the Mega Man games, this one right here. Yep. And all of them but Mega Man 1. So those barriers can be destroyed with hard knuckles. We're not going to use them now. But we will use them here. Oop. So here we can replenish our you know, again, you know, as a reminder, in case you haven't been watching the other Let's Plays, you gotta be mindful and cognizant of your health, your weapon energy rather, in Wily's Castle, because it does not replenish in between stages. The turtles are easy kill with the Shadow Blade, one hit. They get faster. The tornadoes that are coming out don't damage you, but they'll push you into the enemy. And that's the end of that. I want to live there.
That particular one?
Yeah, I like this one the best. They're all different.
Yeah.
So we can replenish our Shadow Blade. We don't really have to tribal with anything else right now. I snubbed my nose at fucking extra lives. I don't need him.
How does he get around his castle?
That's a good question. Kevin's asking how does Wily get around his castle, and the answer is I have no idea. The answer really is I'm not even sure he's ever there. I feel like this is something to be built just to fuck with Mega Man.
Like the pawn just walks into the top.
Who knows, man? Who knows what... I don't know what Wily's whole story is in terms of his wants, his desires. You know. He does, but I mean, like, why? What's the point? Him and Light were partners.
Yeah,
and they created great things. That's true.
That's the point.
But how many times are you gonna... How many times are you gonna go through this game? You're not gonna win. You know what I mean?
I don't understand what's going on with Light. Like, why would he believe him?
He's a good man. He won't let Mega Man kill him either. I would have killed Wily a long time ago.
Do you think Mega Man wants to kill him?
I don't know. So this is the rock monster from Mega Man 1, another Mega Man 1 throwback. A lot easier to deal with because you have the slide. A lot harder to deal with because you can't cheat like you could in the other one. Poof. You gotta use the hard knuckle. You can maybe get 2 off. Damn. Twice there. Just kind of... Ah, damn it. You like this enemy,
Yeah.
Kevin? He's a mainstay in the Mega Man games. Done. So much easier in this one because you can actually see where, after he's on the screen, you can actually see where he is. Unlike in Mega Man 1. Music changes up here. Here we can use the Shadow Blades to just get rid of this guy without much of an issue. Actually use Rush Coil to get up. Also an awesome soundtrack here, and awesome music. Another E-Tank, very plentiful with the E-Tanks here. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. These screens are kind of cool. Not quite as tricky as they look. And again, if you want to go up there and mess with those, I don't really think we need to. No, we're fine. All right, so this is a clone machine, another throwback to Mega Man 1. Now, there's a trick here. The top one that spawns is always the real Mega Man. at first, and his weakness is the top spin, and you can kill him in one hit. He'll always spawn that way, and I'm not sure if that was programmed as an Easter egg or if that's just the way this enemy was programmed, but top spin is his weakness, kill him once. He's always starts at the top, so you can just go right up there and get rid of him. And here we can start to kind of replenish anything we've lost that we need. We don't really need a rush jet, but just in case, and we'll go back and use the rest of this, I guess, on top spin, which we will need. These enemies are throwbacks to Guts Man. They're destroying me right now. Mega Man 1's Robot Master. Who is?
Those robots.
Yeah, they're made of like junk, so I don't think they're supposed to look normal. If that makes any sense. And so as the Mega Man tradition dictates, we will fight all the Robot Masters again. Starting with Needle Man. Wasn't. Jump into it. There we go. So that's Needle Man down. Magnet Man. Now we can use. We could use Spark Shock on him, and we will, but we don't necessarily have to. It does way more damage. As you can see, I just hit him once. And one more hit, and he'll be done. Gemini Man. Break out the snakes. Oop. That wasn't a very clean win, but we won nonetheless. Move on to Hard Man. Use the Magma Missiles, put him away. We'll move on to Top Man next. Put him away. He was frozen for a minute, that was scary. Shadow Man will break out the top spin. Sparkman. Use the Shadow Blades. And then finally all that's left is Snake Man, and this time we have the Needle Cannon to use on him, which will make him quicker to fight. Alright, move out of here. Here you want to be somewhat judicious with one of the things you're using. So filling in Spark will work. Filling in Shadow we'll use later will work. And then maybe the last little bit at the top, which we also need. We don't really need to fill these all in, but we will. So I just like being that way. So here we go, the face-off with Wily begins. First part can be easily beaten with the Spark Shock. Now, we'll use My little trick here is that I just like use Rush Jet and just hammer him. A lot of slowdown here because I'm creating a lot of bullets, and he's shooting bullets, and that's why he's flickering, by the way, because the game can't handle it. And then he's defeated, but is he? Of course he's not. It's not over yet. Begging for mercy as he usually does, but it's not him. So we really don't need anything else here, so we'll just go right in. We'll start with our Shadow Blades equipped. So this is Gamma, who is the Peacekeeping Robot light built with Wily. So he's half dead now, and then Wily appears, and you can use the top spin on him. You have to wait for the fist to appear. And that's it. Mega Man 3 is over. So now we'll enjoy the ending together. Well, I'll let you enjoy the ending. We'll cut me out of this so you can enjoy. But note that the ending gives you context for Mega Man 1 for the very first time, which I really love. The ending is pretty cool. This is Breakman appearing, or Proto Man. Saves Mega Man, leaves Wily to die. And that's it. So I hope you enjoy Mega Man 3. We'll let you watch the ending in peace, and we'll see you for Mega Man 4. Remember, we're doing Let's Plays for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, so you can find them all here on Kinda Funny Games, youtube.com/kindafunnygames. Thank you for joining me. Until next time.